know.
Yeah. Okay, Yes, I don't remember what I was saying. I don't remember.
We were talking about your nightmares and
Oh,
tips and
you gotta be kidding me. Don't tell me he's coming back. Okay, we're good. Um, so... Whatever the Richard thing aside, that... I had this... It was just this really crazy, like, and it felt so real, like I was... It was just like I was at the fun house, things were hitting the fan, and then I just woke up in the street. I just woke up in the middle of the street, in the city by the vault. And I got up, and it was raining, it was storming, and a car pulled up, slamming the brakes, and it was a mime that got out with a golf club, and he just started beating me with it. So I started running, and as I'm running, like, cars were pulling over, and it was mimes everywhere, getting out, and chasing me down the street. And I was running up to the vault, and there was explosions happening, and then I saw, like, a bunch of things blowing up, so I was going to turn around, but there was too many mimes behind me, and I didn't have a choice. I just kept running. And there was, like, this big RV there. And it was shooting guns, and it was Kirk. And so I ran up to him, and I was trying to ask him, what's going on? What's happening? It was just nothing but chaos. And he just kept telling me, shut up, just get in. We gotta go. And, he told me to drive to Mazebank Tower. So we drove there, and he was just shooting, and he wouldn't answer any of my questions. He just kept telling me to shut up, stop being dumb, and to drive better, and just to get to where we gotta go. And that it was important. And we got there, and there was a helicopter there, and we flew to the top, and then the mime started shooting, and then we're on the top. And then when we landed, it was peaceful up there. It was, it was still stormy, but there was nothing going on up there. And he just looked at me and he said, well, bub, see you on the other side. And he jumped. And Ratchet got the helicopter.
yep.
So, as confusing as it is, and it took me days after it, like, it took me all day to, like, kind of figure this out. But it's kind of like, because a long time ago when I first met Kirk, it kind of was like a very big change, of course, in my life, I guess. And it was at the exact spot where somebody was after me and Kirk picked me up. And it's like it's like he re-guided me just to talk to people and to figure myself out, I guess. So he jumped, and I just stood there, and nothing's happening. So I just jumped too, right where he did. And then it's like, I'm falling, and I just fell on Mount Gordo, where Richard was, and I talked to Richard, and obviously he wasn't happy, because I did him wrong. And then he told me I really knew how to stick a knife into somebody. I really knew how to twist that knife. And that one time, it stuck. And that I may have killed him, but I'm really the one that's dead inside. So is that myself trying to tell me that?
I think it might be. maybe you're trying to accept that you feel that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes our dreams can be kind of a mirror.
Yeah. And then right when he said that, it's like he pushed me. And I went flying back. Way up. And I went up and up and up, and then I started to fall again. And I started falling, and it felt like I was falling for hours. And then boom, I'm at the house. The fun house. And everything, like, it was like dark and misty and foggy and it was quiet. But not the type of quiet you think. It was quiet like how it was back in the day. You hear the crickets and the frogs. There's just nothing happening. Mind you, the house was pretty scary because there was people floating over top of it. And I think I know what it was, but I don't know. Whatever. Regardless, it was like... It was kind of like those who were there before me. Those who... It was like generations staring down at me in disappointment. Like I did something wrong. And I look up a few times, I try not, but the one who took me in was not up there. It was those that were before him.
You're talking about Bobo?
Yeah. I guess his family, I don't know. But it's like, I had that feeling like I failed. And I walked in the house, and it was dark and different. There was things missing, and it was like this even more empty feeling in there. And I remember I called out for you, I called out for Kirk, I was just calling out for everybody, but no one was answering. So I just kept walking around. And, I heard music playing. And it was, coming from a certain part of the house, right by Wendy's room and Pico's room, which was Giblet's room. And I opened the door. And it was like exactly the way Giblet's room used to be when we were young. Like to the T. It was the only room that was full. Everything else in the house was so empty, but the room was full. And there was a mime in there, and he tried to attack me, and I don't even know how. You know, I know it's all in my head. I just had a gun, and I just started shooting.
Yeah.
And I kind of collected myself a little bit, and the music was coming from outside at the back. So I opened the back door, and it was loud. It was coming from the pig pen in the back. So I walked over there, and sure as Yuck, Giblets was sitting right there. And he started talking to me. Seeming just as confused as I am, right? No explanation to what it was or what we were doing. he just started talking. You know, like it just went from me being shocked to us just walking and talking like we used to do. And it was like he was reminding me of stuff that I've kind of fallen short from.
You mentioned something about how we'd lost the plot.
That was one thing.
That was really the only thing you told me.
He said the punishments that were handed to me was for my own good. That he thinks that I was put in those those stupid cages and stuff like that was because I was an animal. And I didn't want to accept the way they lived. And I fought back. I didn't want to be no clown. I hated it. I hated the idea. I didn't want to do it. So that's what they did to me. To shape me who I am. And, I guess I knew that all this time, but it's like it just left my mind years ago. So I guess I just reminded myself about it, but in the dream it was just telling me.
Yeah.
And it just kept going from there. He just kept saying things like why I lost my way and what I'm doing and what I'm thinking and how things shouldn't have escalated to where they did. That maybe that whole war shouldn't have been guns blazing and grenades and tanks and as much as I tried to tell him that they were the ones that started that and were doing that, maybe we could have changed it.
You had me until that. It's one thing I very firmly disagree with.
I did too for the longest time. But
If we hadn't escalated the way that we did, many of us would be dead.
yeah.
It
But
was not.
Do you think the gunfire started because of us? Because we
No.
started having guns on us and stuff and... You know?
No. The reason I started carrying a gun, the reason Twinkle started carrying a gun, Chatty, I hadn't held a gun in my pocket since coming back to the city. Not once. The reason I started was the day they got Twinkles.
Yeah.
That mime took him. They did horrendous things to him. Sewing his mouth shut, kidnapping him, taking him away from us, taking his mask off. Those things are unacceptable. If we hadn't escalated, it would have continued to happen. Probably in worse ways. They also did what they did to Chumbles,
Yeah.
if you'll remember.
Yeah, I remember.
That was very early on. They escalated this. Not us.
So what do you think the message is there then? Or is
I
there
think
even a message, or am I just being hard on myself?
I think you might be being hard on yourself, but at the same time, I don't disagree that we have gotten to a point where we do like having guns. And I told myself at the very beginning when I started holding that gun that after all this was over, I would put it down. I would not carry a gun anymore. I would stop. I would de-escalate myself. And you know what I have done? Since the day after the war,
What?
I have not held a single gun. I've kept them off of me on purpose. And if we want to figure out where the plot is, or whatever we want to call it, that change starts with us, not with what other people think of us.
Right. Yeah, we need to go back.
We can go back. We can earn that back. It's not too late. We haven't done irreparable damage to ourselves. Many of us are afraid of guns right now, and that's okay. We have to be that change. Plot isn't about guns. It's about our mentals, our mentality, what we do. You can have a gun. Doesn't mean you gotta use it.
Yeah.
Some of us are a little bit harder to keep out of the temptation. We can find it again. And if you think we've lost it, that's okay. It's okay to get a little lost sometimes.
Well, I don't think we lost any of it. I don't think we lost it. I mean, watching everybody at the VU there, it's kind of reassures that we're not too far gone.
You're not either.
I don't know. Giblet said that, he forgives what we did to cause his death, but not to make the same mistakes he did. But never really told me exactly what those mistakes were.
Think maybe you can figure that out. Since I think that's kind of your mentals telling you that you think something was wrong.
It gets worse. He started to walk away. And the pigs were following him. And it just like that, a gust of wind pushing me back and up. And then I started to go down. But the yucked up part about this fall that I had was instead of just falling and falling and falling and appearing somewhere, I hit the ground. And it hurt. And I got up. And it was the stupid pier. Not Del Perro. Not Chumash. That is the other one. Closer to Polito.
The one where we rolled dice.
Mm-hmm. Something really good happened there, and something really bad happened there. So I don't know if it's related to what happened. But I tried to look down there, because I was up top at the parking lot. And I couldn't see nothing. It was foggy. Instinctively, I just started going down the steps. And way at the other end, someone was standing there. And the moment I saw a person there, I knew exactly who it was. But as yucked up as it sounds, I was hoping in a way that maybe it wasn't her. Out of fear of what I may hear.
Yeah?
I walked up, she turned around, and I couldn't even speak. And it was silent for I don't even know how long. Until finally I said something. And she said hi. Just like the way she always, just like the way she always did. Happy. Soft spoken, just. It's like all my nerves gone. And she just started saying things like, "How are you? I missed you." And then she was kind of deflecting some of my questions because obviously I'm a little like for a minute I thought it was real. Like I wanted to believe it was anyway, right? And it just felt real, and it was like she was there. It was her.
Yeah.
She started saying things like, of course I'm here. Because I was so surprised she was. And she goes, of course I'm here. You're always thinking of me. Why wouldn't I be here? And stuff like, if you... I better not die, otherwise she's gonna kill me, it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah?
And then she told me it wasn't real. And then she said, well, I asked her, I said, well, I just didn't want to believe that she was saying things like that, and just kept asking, well, where'd she go? What is she going to do? She's been gone for a long time, and she said she didn't plan on being gone for so long. And that he has her. And then I said, who? What can she mean by that? Who has you? And then she just started saying stuff like, I miss you, and that it was time to wake up. And then she jumped over the side of the railing. And I woke up in the hospital. I don't know how to, what to think about stuff like that.
I think there's something very real about that. And it's okay that you are thinking of her in that way, and that's one of the parts that I don't want you to think is all in your head. I think that part of the dream is different.
I don't understand.
It's memory of her that you're keeping alive. And it's important. And you should be happy that it's there.
Maybe she's fine, yeah? It doesn't mean nothing. Just, maybe it's just because I feel guilty.
I wouldn't.
And so I always do think that maybe she's gone and something bad happened, right? Maybe that's all that is, yeah?
That's something that he's even brought up to me. I think it's something that worries him too.
Oh.
Much as he wouldn't want to admit it. I think that she's out there somewhere. And it's not good for you to think anything else. It's okay to worry. I'd be hypocritical if I said, you can't worry about that stuff, but it's good for you to keep optimistic about it. Keep positive. Because I know she would not have wanted you to think those bad things.
Yeah. Yeah,
At
you're
least I
right.
hope she would. Admittedly, I didn't really know her very well.
Well, I think you're right. Thank you, Tessa. I just...
Oh, okay, my friend, thank you.
That was a hard one to...
Wake up from?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then to be met immediately with what you got met with, I'm sure that didn't help at all.
No, but...
It's no wonder you kind of freaked out.
It's kind of... As bad as it sounds, that I wish I didn't wake up from that. And it was just kind of like I wanted to stay there. I don't know. It's,
Is that why you're scared to go to sleep?
No. Because when I go back to sleep... It's like... Another nightmare. That I watch through my own eyes. That's happening here. And I only know that because I only remember the smallest bits of it. It's one of those dreams when you wake up, you forget everything. You ever have that?
Yeah.
That's how I know I'm the one doing these bad things. But there's something wrong in my brain that makes me kind of crazy. I can't get a grip on myself. I get it now. But fixing it, I don't know. Makes you wonder if it's really possible to get fixed. Or maybe it's like I'm trying to tell myself on the other side that there's only one way out. Though I don't want to accept that. I want to believe that. And I still don't. But it's like I'm trying to convince myself that.
Yeah. Maybe a part of it is that you gotta convince yourself that you don't need fixing. Maybe fix is the wrong word, wrong mentality. I don't think you're broken. I think there might be a lot of parts of your life that have broken. You think you're the cause. That leads you to act the way you do sometimes. I don't think you need to fix anything.
I'm trying to kill people again, Tessa. For such a pathetic reason. And even though I don't exactly know what the reason is, you can't tell me anything that would justify it.
I'm not saying you should justify it. I'm just saying you're not broken.
What the yuck am I then? Just bad?
I think you're lost. You don't have a home right now. You don't know where point B is anymore. You gotta find where that is. And I think things will help. I know you can.
I got in big BMX accident, but I'm okay.
I want to find out how, Tessa. I do. But
Figure it out.
but everybody around us shouldn't have to suffer while I do it.
Okay, my friend, thank you.
No, they shouldn't.
What if I kill someone again? I can't, Tessa, I can't go through that again. Other people gotta die just so I can get better? How is that fair?
That may not be what happens.
I shot Sneaky in the face.
I know.
I took his sniper rifle to rain his head. I shot
Yeah.
Marley. They could have died. Thank Yuck they didn't, but it only takes that one time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want them to be able to defend themselves without being worried about anything. Apparently Sneaky freaked out after he shot me the first time. About people being mad about him getting removed from the clowns and stuff like that. Why do people gotta worry about that? Like I'd do anything different. I already told Sneaky I would have did the exact same thing. But the fact that he was worried about that after, it's not right. It doesn't revolve around me. I shouldn't be excused for anything I do. Ever. Because at the end of the day, it's me doing it, right?
You think you're being excused?
Sometimes.
By me?
No. Sometimes by everyone.
Is that why you hold yourself so accountable for everything? 'Cause that's all I'm seeing is accountability. Ever since you woke up today, you have pulled people aside and held yourself accountable for what you did.
Yeah?
Because you know that's the right thing to do.
And no one but Wendy showed any aggression or disappointment.
Would you be aggressive?
Yes? Maybe not the first time. But if I was on the outside looking in, somebody else, another clown was doing this to people, I wouldn't be so kind. I was awful to Lily.
When?
There was one day in the funhouse that she just did something stupid again. I flamed her in front of everyone. Because she needed that. And if Lily wasn't gonna get better, I know for a fact that I was gonna get rid of her. Because if you got one person putting everyone else at risk, why, you gotta do something, right? But now I find myself
Yeah.
in the shoes again of I'm that one person doing it. But no one will step up and be the one to get rid of me. That's scary, Tessa, because as much as I hate saying it, something's gotta give.